Hello everyone, Ronin here, and in this video I'll be covering what I think to be a good Dark Knight rotation, whether it's going to be tanking or off tanking. It's going to be a little hard to show on a target dummy, mainly because you're not getting attacked and it nullifies blood price. So as a main tank, you'd be able to do more damage, so maybe what I'll do is go into a fight like Faust or something. Then it's hard because you're getting hit by multiple enemies. Maybe the Oppressor. So I might go fight the Oppressor and then post a video after that for a proper reading. One thing that I've noticed so far is the Dark Knight will have more DPS than the other two tanks in defensive stance. But in offensive stance, your DPS doesn't increase that much higher. You won't be able to match a warrior. The main difference is your damage. It doesn't have high peaks. Like, you won't have giant bursts of damage because you don't have any cooldowns to do this with. What you'll be able to do though is just maintain a good amount of damage as long as you can maintain dark side up. So we're gonna start with your DPS stance, and your main focus is going to be Soul Eater. You're gonna want to do Soul Eater rotations when you are able to use Dark Arts without losing too much mana. And on those off turns where you don't have enough mana, you'll be doing Delirium. So this is the two you want to do, and then use your skills to maintain your DPS and your mana up. I'm not 100% sure if it's worth using Carve and Spit yet in my rotation for DPS or for mana. I think if you're main tanking, this should probably be used for mana. You won't be able to use Blood Weapon as well unless you switch out of the stance, but switching out of the stance is not that effective on a Dark Knight just because it takes a full global cooldown. So unless you're planning on doing it for I'd say minimum the full duration of Blood Weapon, I would say it's not that big of a deal to jump in and out. It won't affect your DPS that much because then you end up losing a full skill to that, and it resets your rotation. So you'd have to have some good planning in there. So I'd use Carve and Spit in defensive to regain mana, and in offensive I would probably use it to deal more damage. So let's give it a shot. So like always, I'm gonna pull it like it's a real fight and pull into Tomahawk. And it's kind of hard to make sure you get every single hit in there because you do have a lot of off global cooldowns. I'll try to line up so I don't hit 2 targets this time. So the biggest challenge is to hit your off globals, especially in the opener. You have quite a few to do, then they line up into your rotate. So like always, I'm gonna pull with, well, this one's gonna be unmanned, equivalent to Tomahawk. Keep forgetting Scourge in there, which will affect my DPS. And much like Paladin, you'll notice you run out of TP really fast because you have nothing in there unless you start casting spells to essentially affect your TP management. Your MP management is fairly easy to accomplish, but just the TP management is a big flaw. Not flaw. I mean, you just have to have a class in there that can give you some TP. And I'm going to do it in Grit. Now, there's no reason not to use Dark Side. It actually helps you push DPS. The only skill you pretty much can't use because of Grit is Blood Weapon. You need Dark Side up to be able to use your Dark Arts. And that's where a lot of your DPS abilities come from. The only thing is if you're tanking, you have to be careful with your mana management. Certain skills like Dark Mind are boosted by Dark Arts, so it makes them stronger, and for tanking that's really good, like 30% instead of 15%. That's double the buff. Like I said, it's really hard because you won't be able to use Blood Price to get damage back. So unless they start throwing in a dummy that does an average attack or something, an average attack per second, then you won't be able to justify those numbers really. So it's gonna be the same thing, so like a 2.5 minute parse, like the other ones were for Paladin. But it's basically just keep watching and see what skills comes up. As you get better at it, you'll know the rotation a lot better. Because I've seen a lot of people pull with Plunge, Now, I'm going to talk about that. I don't think plunge is a good opener. Not by itself. It's got a long animation. I would say the proper pulling method is not salted earth. I've seen some tanks do that, where they put it down and then they go in. I think that's a really bad way to get snap aggro. I would say it's unmend, plunge, start your combo. Now I'm not sure if you're gonna have enough strength to be able to hold tape without using a power slash combo. So I'm gonna throw the first combo a power slash combo. It's your choice if you need to use Dark Arts on it, but it won't increase your damage. Just remember that, it'll only increase the amount of enmity you create. So I would rather use it on Soul Eater, which is a 400 potency. And that's pretty powerful, especially in Grit, because you'll also heal. So it's almost like Inner Beast. Every 3 hits you could be doing an Inner Beast. So actually a stronger Inner Beast, just don't have the damage reduction after it. Show how I would pull. So you're gonna wanna unmend, jump, start your rotation, do 1 enmity rotation. So because I can't regain mana from getting hit, it's gonna affect my DPS. So that's why I'm gonna use Carve and Spit to be able to perform that properly. Oh, I ran out of mana. See, that was bad on me. So I gotta reapply this. So that's one thing you have to watch out for, is your mana management. I keep forgetting Scourge. Scourge, it's like Fracture. I should be using it more often. So it all depends on if you can manage your hate doing the Soul Eater combos. But you'll also be healing for more, so it's always a bonus, as long as your healers don't overheal you. Now just be ready to keep, like I said, mana for your Dark Mind. And potentially Dark Dance, depending on what dungeon you're doing. Keeping damage up pretty good. And like I said, it'll be higher if you're actually tanking, because you'll have blood price, and your low blows will actually proc more often when you're main tanking. So 2 minutes 40 seconds. So again, the TP is an issue, but 600 and I'm not sure what I peaked at, 625 let's say, is a really good DPS for a tanking stance, as long as you can keep it up. I had no potions used, I had no food used, same gear I had on my Paladin and Warrior parse, and I'm pretty sure it keeps up, it almost keeps up to Warrior. Like I said, it will go up because you'll be able to use Low Blow, you'll be able to use Reprisal, which you can't use on a target dummy, and allow you to use your Dark Arts more often. So I think what I need to do is get into a group and do the Oppressor and see. I just need a fight where I can show what a tank DPS is going to look like. So let's see if a pug, that's scary though, I don't know if I want a pug. Alright, Oped don't make too many mistakes, and I don't plan on coming back too often. So minus the walking around, I think that should give a good representation to where a Dark Knight in strength gear, mind you, should be. I'm pretty sure Warrior is about, I don't even know if I'll be able to reach that high on Warrior. So percentage wise, I managed to do the same as a Ninja. Now, these are pugs, mind you, I'm not bragging or anything. But I did the same as a Ninja, same as the Warrior that was in Deliverance pretty much the whole fight, and say more than the Black Mage. So I mean, it's not really good representation because they jump up. Maybe if I stop at the first, yeah, that's what I'll do, I'll stop at the first jump. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate the support you guys have given me. Hopefully this gives you a bit of an insight. I'm trying to compare all 3 tanks. I finally have them all to 60. So with pretty much all of the same gear, my opinion would be that the Dark Knight is more DPS in tanking stance. But yeah, I think for the best DPS in DPS stance is the Warrior. Best DPS in tanking stance will be the Dark Knight. And the best tanking, I should say, like, I guess noob tanking, like the easiest tanking one would be the Paladin. But the thing is, as a warrior, I've already been told that I do just as good, if not better, than a lot of paladins. So it's all a matter of opinion. The main issue is TP. Dark Knight and Paladin will run out of TP really quick. So just be ready for that. As a warrior, unless you have, I'm almost at 600 skill speed. Unless you have that much skill speed, you shouldn't run out. Again, thank you all for watching. I'll be making a guide on the skills and my skill loadout maybe, just coming up just after this. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Again, thank you all for watching.